Sweet.
Hello?
All right. Yeah. Hey, Hurt.
Hey, how you doing? Hey,
I'm
good to
I'm
meet you. I
doing.
don't think we've ever...
No, I don't think we've ever casted together before. So,
Alright, great.
yeah.
Okay.
But we should have a pretty close ZVZ in our hands here. Looks like both of them are in the same exact league.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a big difference in level of play. So Freedom has been Masters before,
Hmm.
and JDON, I believe, is in Diamond, but has spent most of the time that I've known him in Platinum.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, we'll see. ZVZ. It's one of those matchups again where it's like anything can happen. One really solid Baneling hit, or really good Ling run by, and that can just be the game. So if
yeah,
the other player's
absolutely.
paying attention, we'll see.
Absolutely. Freedom plays a pretty safe game, so we'll see. I think he's definitely favorite, but I always root for the underdog, I guess. So let's see if
Hmm.
JDON can pull this off.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do some of the player intros since I've been doing them all night? You just hopped right
Yeah,
on.
sure. Sure.
Yeah.
So on the top right, we've got the blue Zerg Freedom. He was runner-up to winning the league last season, Samurai Panda, and this season he's only had one loss, and that is to our Grandmaster player Migraine, who has managed to go undefeated so far.
Yeah.
In the
We just saw him
bottom
play a
left,
game.
we've got JDON, also a Zerg. He's a diamond player, very good this season in the Starcraft League. I believe he's definitely in the top 5 or 6
Yeah, I think he's got.
in
Let
the
me
standings.
see. Yeah, he's actually third right now, right behind Freedom.
Third.
But there's a pretty big gap between him. He's
Yeah.
looks like 9-5, while Freedom has gone 12-1 right now. Although I guess he just was just able to go now. It looks like 12-2 or 13-2 actually because of the game that we casted earlier. So we know what Freedom's final score is for the league,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not 13-2. But he is guaranteed to make it in through the playoffs. So congrats to him.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and so JDON has definitely been playing great this season. So this should be a good game. This should definitely be a good game.
Well, we're seeing a hatchery first here by JDON, so playing extremely economically favored here. And we see the spawning pool instead coming out first by Freedom, so the hatchery will be just a little bit later, but he can get a queen out a little bit more quickly and can potentially build lings if he wants to. But we're not seeing any sort of gas or anything, so probably not going to be like a speed ling to follow up.
Yeah, but it's a safe build, and like I mentioned,
Yeah.
Freedom, he plays pretty safe. He does whatever he has to defend, and then he's a macro player. So very rarely do I see him do any sorts of early game all-ins, and it's hard to punish him, with your all-ins and rushes. So.
Yeah, well, we're seeing actually gas coming here by JDON, but we don't actually have a spawning pool yet, so I don't know if he's mining the gas now and then he's going to save it for later, or what his plans are actually with that, but a little bit strange.
Yeah, he's being very greedy, and Freedom's pool's already done, so,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, if Freedom had gone for some form of a
It's going
speedling
3
timing attack,
hatch.
like, he probably would have just
Wow.
won straight up. But yeah, that is extremely greedy, even getting gas before the third hatchery. I feel like his build's maybe a little bit backwards. I think normally we see players get that if they're going to do like 3 hatch before pool. That's what they'll do, 3 hatches before pool, get the pool and then the gas. So it's a little bit strange for me to see him get the gas. Now he's got enough for speed, but his pool's not even done yet, so he's just kind of sitting on this gas.
Yeah, well, it's possible that he's been watching, Freedom replays from past CVZ games, and he's got, something, lined up for him. But now he's gonna have to
Yeah.
deal with these slings. It's just 2 right now, but I'm sure as soon as Freedom sees that he went 3 hatch, he's gonna start getting, more links, or he'll start expanding like crazy himself.
Yeah, we'll see what the actual response is. So we're seeing Freedom now is getting all the information he needs. He can click on the extractor, see that exactly 104 was mined. So he knows that this is just being straight up used for a speedling defense. And we're seeing speed come out for Freedom as well. So maybe we'll see some form of a speedling timing attack. But that's all up to Freedom, I guess. And a Spinecrawler actually coming down here for Freedom. So maybe he's worried about something. Or just playing it, again, safely.
Yeah. Well, the benefit that JDON has now is, even if the drone count is the same, he's got more hatcheries, so he can definitely get more units out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. The fact that the extra hatcheries help, even though it is an economic investment, quote unquote, it can help with defense as well because you have the extra larva. And we have the Baneling nest coming down for Freedom, so I think that's exactly what we're going to have, some form of speed Baneling timing attack here to try and pressure or to punish our JDON for going for that quick third hatch.
Yeah, I mean that's a smart move. I know when I play and I see greedy builds, I always try something to slow them down or punish them a little bit for overextending. That way I can economically not fall behind.
Yep. Now 14 Lings actually being produced here by JDON, and speed just completes for both players now. So we're going to kind of see the speedling back and forth scenario. Let's look at the income. Income-wise, actually, JDON is ahead as well by 2. He's got the extra hatchery. He has speed. The only disadvantage he has is, I just want to make sure that there haven't been, yeah, okay, so no upgrades have actually been started or been completed here on the Zerglings for Freedom. So he's just now starting the armor, which isn't going to come into play for a long time. But, yeah, so the only
but there's also a
Baneling.
Yeah, Baneling, yeah, but that makes such a huge difference in Ling versus Ling battles.
Yeah, so 4 Banelings coming out now. It's all going to come down to control. And this is what I was talking about, where ZVZ can come down to some crazy micro scenarios. A ton of Lings being pulled away, actually, from the third base. And now these Speedlings are coming in for Freedom and going to be able to get a really clean kill, I think, on this third base. Although more Lings are coming back to defend, so really good timing there on the spawn there.
Yeah, this base is going to be very difficult to defend for JDON. Yeah, especially if Freedom keeps sending reinforcements.
Yeah, we'll see though. He's doing a pretty good job right now, trying to get rid of. Oh, we actually got the full health Baneling, and that low health Baneling is still kind of chilling there in the back. This hatchery's going down. More Lings keep getting brought in. He does, JDON that is, does have the defender's advantage. The minerals are getting high, really high for both players. Another Baneling going off, ineffective or cost inefficiently. Again, I think that Baneling only got 2 kills. Yeah, he's defending for now. Take a look at the income again. We're seeing Freedom just slightly behind. He does still have 1 less hatchery, which is an issue, but that armor's now, it's getting pretty close to finishing, about 40 seconds away. More Banelings are coming in.
But JDON has a Roach Warren out, so we're gonna be seeing some roaches pretty soon.
I don't know. I feel like Freedom was maybe expecting to go up against another Ling Baneling thing, because like the armor's really good against other in a Baneling versus Baneling wars, because I think it allows your Banelings to survive 1 extra hit from Banelings, whereas your Banelings would die to 2 hits from your opponent's Banelings. Now they survive those 2 hits. So that's where I think the +1 armor would have been like really cool for Freedom right now if that were to be true. But that's not what he's up against. He's up against roaches now, and it's 3 base roach. So I feel like he's actually in a little bit behind here. He's got more workers, and he's just now getting that third base, but he is, behind at 1 base at least.
Yeah. Well, he's down in overall supply by almost 30, so,
there's so many roaches out.
Yeah, the army size is, there's a pretty big difference in the army sizes. So he's trying to snipe that hatchery. He comes in, he harasses it, lowers the hit points on it, and leaves.
Yeah, it's getting so low.
Yeah, but he can't lose too many of his units because he already has the smaller army to begin with. So
yeah, it's funny. I think JDON is, JDON has an overseer or an overlord up at the top right that's seeing the Lings from Freedom. I think he's keeping them there for later, for once JDON finally moves out, so he can get that snipe on the hatchery. But JDON's completely aware of the fact that these Lings are kind of roaming around because A, he's seen them keep coming in and out, and B, he actually saw them sitting up there at the top left, which is kind of funny. But we'll see if it'll be kind of interesting to see if Freedom can actually get that snipe. And now the third base is up here for Freedom, which I believe JDON should have maybe just seen. It's hard to tell. Let's see. Yeah, and he saw it building earlier. Second Evo chamber is coming out now as well. We're seeing the missile attacks coming out for Freedom. So I guess he's planning to transition to roaches as well, as we're seeing 11 more come out. And is going to commit to that, but he's behind, unfortunately. He does have the 1 armor, which is, is a slight advantage, but we've had double Evos out for JDON a little bit longer than Freedom has been able to keep him out. So So yeah,
I do like that he's trying to break the destructible rocks, to the natural expansion,
Yeah.
because that'll force JDON to split his defense.
yeah, and maybe he can actually get that third or that kill on the third base if he can split some units up at the natural, send some into the main, and then he realizes, oh no, his third base is a little bit undefended, so he goes in with another pack of leans from the north. Could be possible. We'll see. Looking at what people are producing here, we're seeing JDON is getting the groove spines out of his Hydraless Den, so I guess he's going to be committing to those Hydras. I would assume eventually, not just getting that as a precautionary tech. And Roach Hydra is pretty strong. The Hydras in the back, if they stay protected, can add in a little bit of extra DPS. And now we're seeing Freedom himself add on the Hydra. So both of them kind of agreeing to these terms of engagement that we're just going to play Roach Hydra.
Wow, there's the Banelings. That's what I was looking for, because he can come in and just take out all of these drones like so quickly. There's no defenses at all.
Let's see how many drones there are. All right, this is going to be actually really awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at the I wonder, I'm going to try and do the first person perspective here of JDON. All right, we're following JDON's vision now. He's moving around with roaches, and he sees the Banelings. Oh, but the Banelings are going in. All right, let's see how he reacts.
Let's see how many drones he gets. There's at least 16 drones here.
All right, he's trying to split them. Oh, that's a lot going
but
down
nice,
right there.
nice kills.
Oh, 13 workers now have been killed for Freedom, and I have to assume that was pretty much right there in that single attack, for the most part. Worker-wise, what does that bring us to? Yeah, that gives a definite deficit here for JDON. Replacing those actually pretty quickly, though. Both players at about 60. Now we see a ton of roaches here coming in for Freedom, but I don't think that's enough. I think JDON has more roaches. Although the supply is favoring, in fact, Freedom. This is really close. If JDON tries to go too far back, commit too much, believes he's too far ahead, he could find himself overcommitting here at this third base if he tries to break on through. And that might be something that Freedom purposely set up, because we're seeing a lot more roaches here to defend than there were to attack.
Yeah, and Freedom has a better unit mix at this point. He's got some Banelings and some roaches versus just pure roach. So
yeah, and his Hydras will be out a little bit more quickly because he's going to have the defender's advantage. So he should be able to engage those or get those Hydras in the engagement more quickly than JDON will, since he has to travel those Hydras across the map.
He will force a cancel on that expansion, though, on that
I don't
floor.
know if that was a cancel. I think he got the kill. Ooh, we're having a roach engagement here. There's a lot of roaches for Freedom. Trying to get some of those Banelings forward and getting good connects here. We're not seeing any sort of counterattacks. Just making sure that on the mini-map. Hydras now, this is what we're talking about, where those Hydras can come in from the back and they're going to be able to aid in this engagement. And that's going to be the tipping scales here, I believe, for Freedom, who is let's looking at 2-1 upgrades compared to the 1-2 here for JDON. And there we go. Well done by Freedom.
Absolutely. He cleaned that up pretty well.
Groove spines, or those are actually muscular augments coming out for the Hydras for JDON, but he's not really building too many more Hydras. Only that first wave came out, and most of them are getting picked off here as they try and retreat. I'm trying to see how many Hydras are actually out on the field. There's only 2 here for JDON compared to the 5 of Freedom, who's actually got, I'm trying to see how many more roaches. Yeah, 11 more roaches in his own right, so I mean, just the roach count here for Freedom is going to be maybe too much. We'll see, though. JDON is posturing, and he does have that defender's advantage. And Freedom is moving in here again on this third base. That third base is actually regen probably quite a bit of health now that it's sat back there. That's one of the cool things about Zerg structures, is that they regenerate health on their own. Those you didn't know.
Well, Zerg units in general, as long as they're on their creep, they regen, right?
Yeah, that's I mean, there's regen, I think, anytime, even in combat.
So I like that Freedom's getting his 4th going now, so he's really going to be able to press his advantage.
Nice, and that's him getting that base now more quickly than JDON, who, remember, started this game off with a really fast three bases. Extremely greedy.
Yeah, he did. He actually, was kind of ahead, in my opinion, for most of this game until that huge engagement.
I mean, he has so many more roaches.
And now he's completely contained, so, he's going to have to break some rocks to get around.
These roaches here coming onto the natural here are going to be getting a ton of kills. I love this. This is sorts of things that we see players like the highest level of ZVZ players in these sorts of in these roach scenarios to just kind of split up their roaches, send them out, try and pull their opponent apart. But again, we're seeing a huge engagement coming out here by Freedom, and getting forced back by JDON, because JDON just has the far better concave. Ooh, I'm actually going to see a kill and a queen here by Freedom too, with that small group of roaches on the right hand side.
Yeah, those harassment attacks are really good because you often get your opponents to overreact and send too much of their army to deal with 4 or 5 units, and then you expose, a different location where you can be attacked.
No. And we're just seeing that. I mean, this is working as kind of a containment, or part of the containment here that we're seeing out of Freedom. I mean, he hits on that right-hand side. I mean, he knows pretty much whenever units try to escape from that right-hand side, so JDON's kind of forced to, he either has to go through the front door at the third or go through his little side door at the natural. And either way, Freedom will be aware of that. And I'm curious to see how Freedom's going to try and continue on into this late game, because we see him maxed out now. We actually see him oversupplied, which is kind of cute. For those who don't know how
208.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know how he did that, he basically constructed a ton of his drones into spine crawlers or spores or just something cheap. Gets under supply because the drones become buildings and no longer count as supply. Builds more work or more army, and then cancels all those buildings being produced. So he still keeps the drones around. Pretty nifty little trick. But we're not seeing... okay, we are seeing the Hive come out. I was going to say we're not seeing any Hive tech, but we are seeing the Hive itself come out, as well as pathogen lands, which is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll see infestors.
Uh-oh, I think my computer locked up.
Oh.
Also,
Uh-oh. There was a 1 second lag spike, but hopefully you're alright.
Yeah, okay.
Unit compositions. We're actually seeing more Hydras now come out here for JDON, 24 to the 19 of Freedom. Freedom, though, has more roaches by 3. Now starting to get actually taking a slight advantage here. At this engagement, none of these spine crawlers have actually started being, or have completed, so there's only one there able to do any sort of damage.
Yeah, JDON really needs to get a 4th base going. Maybe that 9 o'clock base.
He does have a lot banked up, though. I mean, technically his bank is larger, which is kind of strange too. But I think that's just because Freedom has been keeping up, teching further into this game. If you look at the upgrades, he's on. Okay, they're both on 2-2, but he has his Hive out, so he has the 3-3 coming. Something that JDON just does not have at all. I mean, I don't even think he's started yet. Just wanted to make sure. Does he even? Okay, yeah, he does have a layer. I was gonna say. So obviously you need a layer for Hydras, and +2.
And they both have equivalent, upgrades. So right now, though, it looks like Freedom is trying to bait JDON into fighting from the low ground, and he's got the high ground advantage.
Yeah, JDON's
holding
not
that
falling for that at all, though. And changelings are going back and forth between the line. Kind of, it's pretty cute. JDON, though, the only one really caring about getting rid of those spies. Picks those off. He's still being starved out, though. He's starting to take down these rocks, though, here at his oh, I didn't really. That's kind of weird that there's 2 pairs of rocks there really close by at that natural.
Yeah.
Anyways, taking down that extra pair of rocks there to go and potentially take his 4th base now. One of the things I would like to see out of Freedom is maybe a Ling or something down there to actually be watching for that base. For both of these bases, because there's 2 bases that potentially JDON could be taking that doesn't really have anything. It's not like there's a Burrowed Ling or an Overseer there, or an Overlord, I mean, to just check. But a hidden 5th base and 6th base, or not hidden.
So I like these infestors. These infestors can make a huge difference in a battle.
Are they coming out? We saw the pathogen glands. Has he actually started adding in a few infestors?
I'm seeing 5 infestors with the main army already. So
sweet, nice. So we're gonna be able to see fungals go down. Those do really well against the Hydras too, which we're seeing actually. Yeah, we're seeing more Hydras coming out here still out of JDON. So he's up by 8, which. If they cluster up and he can get some really solid fungals, those Hydras could be coming back to hurt him now in this different sort of later game composition that we're seeing out of Freedom.
Now, do you find it at all surprising that there aren't any mutas from either player to harass expansions and just
Well, for Freedom, I understand it. Well, I would understand if he had full vision, because if you had the mutas, I guess the mutas would be kind of cool to pick off drones and stuff. But the thing is, they're expensive, and Spore Crawlers do so, Spore Crawler Queen Hydra is so easy to defend against Mutalisk. Like, if he builds 10, then it's like, alright, that's 1,000 minerals and 1,000 gas that don't really get to do too much, because Static D's already become like a thing in this game. There's already all these spine crawlers, so I mean, adding Spore Crawlers to the forest is, not too difficult.
And JDON has fallen behind on upgrades now. So Freedom's at 3-3, JDON's still at 2-2.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That Hive finally finishing, allowing him to start those 3-3s way before JDON, who now finally is able to begin those, or has begun those. And we saw him almost, Freedom that is, almost trying to commit here to JDON at his fourth. We're seeing his whole army moving, so maybe that's what Freedom's going to look to do here, is try and use this fourth as kind of a staging point. And a lot of Hydras and Roaches here trying to commit.
Yeah, this base is probably going to get dropped here because of the upgrade difference.
Look at that large force coming in from the top here, and those infestors getting surrounded. This is actually kind of turning around to a complete surround of Freedom, but those fungals catching a lot of units. The upgrades, though, are still maybe too good here for Freedom.
Yeah, but that was definitely a good pincer move there, or flanking move.
Yeah, and just barely is JDON not going to be able to defend here. This base might go down. Hydras do a lot of damage. No, we're actually seeing a ton of Roaches here at the natural.
At the natural as well.
Yeah. Wow, didn't even see those guys coming in. There's tons of Roaches actually being produced because of the banks of these players. Or they probably have a ton of larvae. We're seeing 35 Hydras actually coming out.
Nice berry.
Yeah. And there still isn't, still no Overseer here. And unfortunately, losing that third base, or that fourth base, is just going to put JDON still on the back foot of this game.
Yeah, and the drone count difference now is 60 to 22.
Oh, so whoa, yeah. That's actually a really good point, yeah. Catching a couple of Roaches here, JDON is. So many Hydras. That's a lot of Hydras. I want to see exactly how many there are. 35 Hydras. Oh, wow, this is almost pure Hydra. And actually, I think in a maxed out engagement, Hydra versus Roach, I think the Roaches maybe even win. Not sure, though.
Alright, and JDON now has his 3-3 upgrade, so at least in the next battle there won't be that upgrade differential.
That's good. And we're actually seeing a Greater Spire coming out here for JDON, but we actually have Corruptors already coming out, or already out, for Freedom, and he's already morphing some of them into Broodlords. So those are going to be one of the big factors in this upcoming fight. If he can get them out in time, though, that's a lot of Corruptors being morphed in right now. Corruptors don't do that much in the air, so that's like how much supply of actual army that's going to be in the air. Only going to be able to get rid of Overseers really in the army until. Yeah, we're not seeing any Corruptors actually at all for JDON. JDON's actually going to take out this fourth base that he's, or one of these sort of hidden bases that he found out about. I guess it's a fifth base, not a fourth base.
Yeah, he's got the supply lead right now. I mean, he's got his entire army killing an empty hatchery location.
Yeah, that was
it would have been
unwise
good
to send everything up there, because like if his whole army had been it could have been caught up there and like never able to come down that ramp. If Freedom had maybe placed a couple of infestors at the bottom. Anyways, 10 Broodlords now coming out for Freedom. So the Broodlords are out and going to be able to actually participate in this upcoming fight. So one thing that base did do was buy him time. And actually trying to harass a little bit here from the top, JDON, without taking down the destructible debris. And he's yeah, he is trapped.
Nice
here.
fungal.
This is what I was talking about.
Yep.
He's actually trapped back here. The Broodlords are going to be able to have a field day back here as well, because they can siege from beyond this line, run away, force the Roach Hydra to commit in this choke, and that's exactly what's happening. There's fungals going down on everything. The Hydras in the back, this is what I'm talking about. The Hydras in the back, they get fungled.
Yeah.
They're weak DPS units. They're going to go down really quickly.
Oh, this is a slaughter.
Yeah, that's a slaughter. Wow. Freedom really well played there at the end. Just taking control of the late game. Yeah, I was really surprised at the way he was able to turn that around. I mean, those quick 3 bases out by JDON seemed like he was set up to, really take the lead in that game, but Freedom was able to just kind of contain JDON. And when JDON tried to move back, move out, we never saw him take any extra bases, so he just kind of fell behind.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a great game. What's next on the dock?
That's a pretty good question. Pretty much probably any game we can get. Looking at what we had scheduled, though, so that was JDON versus Freedom. So I'm thinking we might do Migraine versus Lamp, either that or Joseph versus Lamp. Seth versus Lamp. I think those will be maybe the next 2 games.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to get a glass of water. I'll be right back.
Yeah. For those of you watching on the stream, this might be a good chance as well for you to get something to drink, use the bathroom, come on back, and we'll hopefully be getting the games starting up here ASAPly. If you want to say hello, feel free to. I'm SC Mothership, and casting with me was Hurt just a moment ago. So a huge thank you to Hurt, even though he's not here. Looks like the next match is going to be between Paradox and Seth. Seth, a Terran player, and Paradox, another Terran player as well, I'm pretty certain. Maybe Seth is Protoss. We'll either have a... well, let's find out. I can right-click on his name and... let's see. View profile. Watch, he's going to be Zerg. I'm pretty confident he's not Zerg, though. No, okay, cool. He is Terran. Oh, we'll get Freedom in here, into the call. And we'll be getting into this game very shortly as well, because we're in the lobby. Why is this? Alright, sweet. Bringing in Freedom. Freedom has arrived. Not yet. Oh, there we go.
Guys.
Freedom has arrived. Let freedom ring, let freedom ring.
Man, that was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Welcome
was
back.
a good game.